I welcome you to this session of ISO 9001-2015, and today we are going to cover clause number 4.3, determining the scope of the quality management system. So as usual, first of all, I will read out the requirement to you as given in the standard. Clause number 4.3 of ISO 9001-2015, determining the scope of quality management system. The organization shall determine the boundaries and applicability of the quality management system to establish its scope. When determining this scope, the organization shall consider A, B, C. There are three things in this. A, the external and internal issues referred to in 4.1. That means clause 4.1, context of the organization. B, requirements of relevant interested parties referred to in 4.2. And C, the products and services of the organization. The next para says, the organization shall apply all the requirements of this international standard if they are applicable within the determined scope of its quality management system. The scope of the organization's quality management system shall be available and be maintained as documented information. The scope shall state the type of products and services covered and provide justification for any requirements of this international standard that the organization determines is not applicable to the scope of its quality management system. And the last para now. Conformity to this international standard may only be claimed if the requirements determined are not being applicable, do not affect the organization's ability or responsibility to ensure the conformity of its products and services and the enhancement of the customer satisfaction. So this is all a medium kind of clause, and now we shall discuss it in more detail in English. Well, as the title says, here we are talking about the scope of the quality management system. That means what all it is going to include and where it is going to be applicable. It is not necessary that the system that we prepare, the quality management system, may not apply to the entire organization. It may apply only to a certain limited sections of the organization. So that is also possible. But we have to define this scope. So the organization has to determine and finalize the boundaries and applicability of the quality management to establish its scope. So where all the quality management system is going to be applicable and what are its boundaries, where it is not going to be applicable. For example, the location wise, if the organization is located in several places, you may apply the system only to certain locations, but you have to define that. And in a particular location also, the system may not apply to all the departments or all the sections. So where the system is not getting applied, you have to spell it out. And when determining the scope, we have to consider the following points. The external and internal issues referred to in 4.1. That should always be at the back of our mind. That means the context of the organizations, the situation in which our organization is functioning. We have taken care of this in paragraph 4.1, context of the organization. So we have to keep the context of the organization in mind. B says the requirements of relevant interested parties referred to in 4.2. In clause number 4.2, we determined the requirements of the interested parties, those who are interested in our organization, like our customers, like the regulatory authorities, like the suppliers, anybody who is dealing with our organization or is interested in the activities of our organization or is visiting our organization, all those people are interested parties. So we have to keep the interest of the requirements of the relevant interested parties are also to be kept in mind while deciding the scope. And C says the products and services of the organization. What products and services we are offering, what kind of products or what kind of service we are offering. This has also to be kept in mind while deciding the scope. So the scope will take into care A, B, C, all the 3 points of this standard stated in this particular clause. The organization shall apply all the requirements of the international standard if they are applicable within the determined scope of its quality management system. So we are not supposed to leave out any particular clause of the standard. But if we are purposely leaving a particular clause, then we have to provide justification for that. For example, we may be working on a standard design of the product or the service. And if that is so, we can say that we are not designing the product or the service. And therefore the design clause will not apply. So that becomes an exclusion. So the organization shall apply all the requirements of the international standard if they are applicable within the determined scope of the quality management system. So we have to finalize the scope, keeping into account what is applicable and what is not applicable. The next para, the scope of the organization's quality management system shall be available and be maintained as documented information. We have to maintain a record of the scope of the quality management system. Normally this scope is kept in the quality manual, but we are free to have our documentation as we like. We can have a totally separate document on the scope of the quality management system and need not include it in the the manual itself. So manual is optional. That is up to us whether we maintain a quality manual or keep the system in our own fashion, in whatever we like. So the scope of the organization's quality management system shall be available and maintained as documented information. That means its record will be maintained. The scope shall state the type of products and services covered. The scope will state very clearly what products and what services we are offering and provide justification for any requirements of this international standard that the organization determines is not applicable to the scope of the quality management system. That means if we are having any exclusion of a particular clause of this standard, that means we are not including that requirement in our quality management system, then we have to justify that. We have to give a justification in the scope why we are excluding that. For example, we may not be taking any assistance from outside. We may be taking everything from within the organization. Then we have to clearly say that that particular clause regarding help from the outside agencies does not apply to our system. So that is how we are supposed to specify the scope. And conformity, if we are claiming that our organization is conforming to ISO standard, then the conformity of ISO 9001:2015 may only be claimed. We cannot claim it all the time. It can be claimed only if the requirements determined as not being applicable do not affect the organization's ability or responsibility to ensure conformity of our products and services and the enhancement of the customer satisfaction. That means we have to clearly state that the exclusions which we have stated in our scope, they will not come in the way of satisfying our customers. So that's all in this particular clause, and I don't see the need of any format in this. So we may, the next session may be on the next clause, that is clause number 4.4, and there is no need of any format as such in this. So the scope can be defined as it is in a language in which our system is made, and accordingly we can finalize the scope. So I hope you have understood the requirement, but if there is anything by any chance that something is not clear to you, please state what is not clear to you, and I'll try to explain to you further. Now, if you are liking my videos, please give me a thumbs up, give me a like, and also share my videos with your friends and colleagues, and do not forget to subscribe to my channel and also press the bell icon, so that as and when I load the particular video, the information regarding loading of the video will reach you without any delay, and you will be able to see my videos immediately. So thank you very much, and see you on next Sunday. And next Sunday we shall be talking on clause number 4.4, that is quality management system and its processes. So goodbye till then. Bye bye.